The voice in our head. Let's talk more about that. Welcome to episode 2 of my Eckhart Tolle series. In episode 1, I shared some Eckhart Tolle quotes dedicated to being and being in the now, or the present moment. In this episode, we're going to explore a few of Eckhart's quotes about consciousness. What do you think of that? Sounds rad, right? If you don't know about Eckhart and you didn't see episode 1, first, why haven't you checked out episode 1? Eckhart Tolle is an author and a world-renowned spiritual teacher. I was introduced to Eckhart through Oprah Winfrey's Super Soul Sunday series over 10 years ago. Understanding the breadth of his messages, Oprah continues to welcome Eckhart back to all of her platforms for return conversations. We just can't get enough. If you are just learning about Eckhart Tolle from me, wow! It feels so awesome to have the opportunity to present these messages to you now. Eckhart is incredible. The delivery and logical way he presents his messages is top-notch. I'm going to try and do him a little justice here. So, what is consciousness? Besides a tricky word for me to pronunciate, not sure why. Consciousness is not just being awake, it's awareness. It is the ability to take a proverbial step back. It is knowing how to separate from a situation and explore it from all different angles. It's the appreciation and respect for a bigger picture. And I am conscious that you have stopped by my channel to watch this video. So before I go any further, it is my pure delight to say, hi there. Thank you for showing up. I'm Monica. And also being conscious that you could have stopped anywhere else in this YouTube world, I appreciate that you stopped here to hang with me.
I won't let go. I fell in love with a dancer. Blowing all this cake, ooh, it's your birthday, girl. I like that girl.
So that voice in your head, you're listening to it all day long. It is narrating every occurrence throughout your day. You wake up with it and you go to bed with it. Sometimes it's quiet and sometimes it's really loud. How would you describe that voice? What type of relationship do you have with it? Have you noticed I ask that question often? It's really important. Do you acknowledge that voice being an entity of you but not fully encompassing? Let's consciously consume consciousness quotes from Eckhart Tolle, with my own spin on them, of course, in your dose of quotes. Rather than being your thoughts and your emotions, be the awareness behind them. Your feelings and emotions are a byproduct of your thinking, and you have full 100% control of your thoughts. You just have to become aware of them. Aware that they are that, just thoughts, and not become a servant to them. I am Eckhart Tolle you. When you recognize that there is a voice in your head that pretends to be you and never stops speaking, you are awakening out of your unconscious identification with the stream of thinking. When you notice that voice, you realize that who you are is not the voice, the thinker, but the one who is aware of it. When we talk about being able to control our thoughts, because some are convinced you can't, this is where the control comes in. And boy, oh boy, is it a powerful feeling. Understanding that you are not the thoughts, you are the one listening to them. And if you're asking, well, if those thoughts aren't me, then who are they? Where do those thoughts come from, Monica? They come from every exchange you've ever experienced, everywhere you've ever been, and everything you've encountered up until this point. All the data you've collected, the past education, the past experience, the past analysis. That's, let's say, someplace you might need a little retuning. No matter what these thoughts are saying, you do have the ability to stop them in their tracks and reroute them. How? By being conscious of them. A thought may visit, but it doesn't have to become a permanent resident. The single most vital step on your journey toward enlightenment is this: learn to disidentify from your mind. Every time you create a gap in the stream of mind, the light of your consciousness grows stronger. 2 words of weight-bearing strength right there: enlightenment and disidentify. Now, you may not be aware or conscious that you are on your enlightenment journey, but even listening to this video, you have already set sail. You are ready for more. You know there is better, and you are ready to take it in and make it yours. Enlightenment, the release of fear and worry, knowing that something bigger has your back and that everything happens is coming to you with purpose. And disidentify, you become your thoughts. Your actions are a byproduct of your thoughts. Your emotions are a product of your thoughts. Even your physical appearance is a product of your thoughts. Break up with the thoughts. They're not serving up the feelings and the life you desire. You have been Eckhart Tolle. Every time you create a gap in the otherwise incessant stream of thinking, your light of consciousness grows stronger. There's that word again, gap. You're getting stronger, mentally stronger, consciously stronger. Your ability to level out and appreciate grows stronger. You're not the thinker, you're the one aware of the thoughts. And when you recognize a stream of thoughts that aren't gratifying or beneficial, acknowledge them as thoughts that are bringing you down. They're bringing you down instead of lifting you up, reminding you of what doesn't feel good. Notice them. They're there. Slam the brakes and pivot them in an optimal direction by contributing your own ideal rhetoric. Any thought has the opportunity to feel better. If you think about it differently, that's creating the gap. So, here's an example. This is what it can look like. I'm going to try and help you here a little bit more. You are sitting in that exact spot right there. All of a sudden, something pops into your mind, a memory or an assessment. You start to notice these thoughts are welcoming emotions of sadness, anger, fear, distress, or some other feeling we don't like to feel, that we don't want to feel. At that moment, recognize the feelings. Acknowledge the thoughts. Okay. Either out loud or maybe in your head if there's people around, say, I'm having this thought. This thought or these thoughts, they're not beneficial. They don't feel good. They feel awful. This is my mind going through its library of thoughts, and this may be one that's on replay often. This is just a thought, and I don't want to have these types of thoughts because they don't make me feel good, and I want to feel good. I'm on a different path of thinking and a different path of reacting. I want a better feeling life for myself. I want to enjoy life better. That means recognizing these thoughts and guiding them away. To guide these thoughts away, I have to first recognize them. Okay, recognize the thoughts. And then remind myself that I don't want to have these thoughts. I don't want to have these thoughts. Okay, done. Now start purposely putting thoughts of achievement, joy, gratitude, or any good feeling thought in your mind instead. Okay, I put that thought in my mind instead. Right now, I am okay, and I will think things that fulfill me. There's no benefit to me feeling any other way. Now, some people say, I can't switch my thinking, and the more I try not to think about something, the more I think about it. The thought I'm trying to think is emphasized. A tip that has worked for me, hear me out, just try this. I count. Counting doesn't work, get up and move. Switch your atmosphere. Listen to this. Have you ever got up to get something and halfway there you totally forgot what you were getting? Have you ever been in a conversation and as you were about to communicate a thought, it left you? That's not age. It's you subconsciously blocking thoughts. Train yourself to do it purposely. And if transferring an existing thought to a better perspective isn't in your repertoire yet, try to replace it with a totally different thought. I'm Eckhart Tolle in you. The most vital thing in spiritual life is to be able to watch your mind, to be the observer of your mind, so that the mind is not controlling you. When you can recognize that it's the thoughts about the experience and not the experience itself, because the experience more than likely isn't happening to you in the moment, more on that in my previous video, it opens doors. It gives control in an otherwise uncontrollable circumstance. And that's what we all want, right? We want control over how our experience plays out in our mind. It's mind control, and we all have the power. The advantage? When we have that calm, thoughtful control, we make better decisions, and we feel better. That's the ultimate goal, right? To feel better. And I understand the argument that we need to talk about the things that don't make us feel good. But is it the thinking and the talking about it that helps us work through it? Or could it be the time that has passed and the growth perspective we've attached to it after the passing of that time? To awaken means to awaken out of the self-talk in the head, because the self-talk is a form of hypnosis. Self-hypnosis. Do you know this whole time you have been under your own hypnosis? The constant train of thoughts rumbling through your mind? Thinking them so often and consistently that you have fallen under your own hypnosis. They must be true if you've been thinking of them all this time over and over, right? Doesn't have to be. Not anymore anyways. You are aware and you understand. Opening your mind to awareness is opening up opportunities for a more pleasurable life experience. So although you've had these thoughts before, you are no longer under their control. You've been Eckhart Tolle. The world is not here to make you happy. It's here to make you conscious. How does that make you feel when you hear that the world is not here to make you happy, but make you conscious? The world, this is simply our platform with an abundance of resources, may I add. But we own our own path, which means it's up to us to navigate our way towards bliss. The world doesn't owe us anything. It doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't owe anybody anything. But boy, does it offer up a lot. Life will give you whatever experience is the most helpful for the evolution of your consciousness. Do you ever ask yourself why? Why is this happening to me? I've tried to implement this method of thinking when things are ridiculously awesome and when things are ridiculously difficult, and all the phases in between. Why is this happening to me? What is the lesson here? Instead of sinking into victim mode or ignoring the blessings, I encourage you to give this practice a try instead. Opportunities for conscious growth are always happening. Wouldn't you agree that our mind is incredible? There's so many mysterious things about it. It can be our worst enemy if we allow it. You've probably heard the adage to only worry about what's in your control. I've probably done that quote. How funny is it to realize that the worrying within itself is of our control? You may not be able to control everything that happens, but you certainly can control the way you think about it. Hence, your perception. An awful situation perhaps isn't simply an awful situation, but a nudge from life to be more aware. You're not changing a situation per se. You're changing the way you're assessing it. Becoming conscious of our stream of thinking and how our mind communicates with us gives us the upper hand. I hope these conscious, focused thoughts have helped you become more aware of your own consciousness. Being conscious brings you to awareness, allowing you to assess the level of control you do have over your mind and thinking. For me, I know life has become easier to navigate once I realize the impact of the ways of my thinking. That doesn't mean life is always easy. It's not. but it definitely is easier to navigate when I have become aware and can guide the narrative. That's power. So I'm pretty sure I have at least one more Eckhart Told You episode in me. If you like this episode and haven't checked out episode 1, go check it out. Give your being some recognition in this present moment. Have you been chatting with someone and think maybe they could benefit from hearing these messages? There's a button for that. How did this dose feel? Would you like to hear more messages and don't want to be left wondering when the next one will arrive? There's a button for that. Actually, there's 2 buttons. If I had a button to tell you how grateful I am for you spending your time with me right now, I would click it. Actually, there is. Give me a quick comment and I promise to show you the love. I truly do appreciate that you consciously took time to watch, and not just watch this video, but watch it all the way to the end. I'm grateful for you. I'll see you next time. But until then, goodbye.